Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, we are going to create a password generator and manager using tkinter Python library. So if you're looking for learning more GUI programming tutorials, please follow our channel. So let's dive into the code line by line. First, let me create main.py and let me import all the necessary libraries. TTK message box. So we begin by importing the necessary modules. tkinter is used to create the GUI. Random and string help generate passwords, and JSON handles saving and loading the passwords, and the base 64 is used for simple encryption and decryption. Now let's go and create the class. This is how we define our password manager. So here we define our class name as password manager, which will encapsulate all the functionalities of our password manager. In there we define we first initialize using this self. Now this is the initializer method, and it sets up the main window and prepares our application. And next, let's create self.master and let me give a title, say password generator and manager. Next, self.master.geometry. So this will set our window geometry to 400 cross 500 pixels. Save. So now let's configure the main window. So this is basically to configure the main window, setting its title and dimensions, and then we move on to create notebook widget. So for that I'm creating self.notebook. Back, expand, true, fill equal to both, pad x equal to 10, pad y equal to 10. So here the notebook widget is created, allowing us to use the tabs within our applications. So that is created using the notebook widget. Now let's create two frames. So self.generator underscore frame, ttk.frame. In there I pass in the notebook, self.notebook. Again I create another frame called manager frame. In there I give ttk.frame self dot notebook. So here we created two frames, one for the generator and for the manager. Now let's add these keyframes as a tabs to our notebook, naming them as generator and manager. So this is done using self.notebook.add self.generator underscore frame, comma text equal to generator. Similarly, let me copy this over. Manager. So this is done. Now, so we have to create the methods that are used to call up the GUI, the generator interface and the manager interface, and try to load in the password. So let's create methods for them. Setup generator self.setup manager self.load passwords. Now let's do the password generator setup. So I'm going to define setup generator, pass in the self object. So this method sets up the user interface for the password generator, and here in there we have few more So in here we defined several variables that control the password generation options, such as length of the password, and then we have uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols, and to etc. to create our password. So these are the variables I'm using. And now let's create a label and entry field for setting the password. That's done using this. So here basically the ttk.label, here this creates the label field, and then now we have the text box to enter the password. So we add in the text variable equal to self.length var, and we pack that into the our root window. Now next we have the check buttons. So the check buttons are added to allow the user to select which type of characters, using which type of character do they want to create the password. So that is done using this. So yeah. So we have ttk.checkbox for the uppercase, for lowercase, for numbers, and for the symbols. Next, we have to create the button to trigger the password generation. So we have ttk.button. There we have self.generator frame, comma text. I'm going to give the text for the password button, password generator, and then I have comma command equal to self.generate password, close the bracket, then back, and adding padding to it. So I have an extra bracket over here. Check and delete it. Save it. Now, so the button is added to trigger the password generation using this command self.generate password. And then we have the entry field that will display the password. So let's create the entry self.generator frame comma text variable equal to self dot password underscore where. So here I state that state equal to read only, so that I want to hide the password. Width equal to 30 dot back. Yeah. In here. Yes. So next we have the, after the entry field display, we have to create a button to copy the password that we have generated. So that is done using another button self dot generator frame comma text equal to copy to clipboard comma command equal to self dot copy to clipboard dot padding. So this is how we do it. Here we just pack these two, we added some padding for better readability. Now we have created a button to copy the clipboard. Now let's do the same for setting up the manager. So that is done using the method define set up manager, pass in the object self. So this method sets up the user interface for the manager, password manager. Next we have to create so we need to define the variables in order to store the username, the service name and the password. And then once we define it, we create the similar label and entry field in here. So I do the same, copy, and once these two are created, I have to create the same for the, so I get the service variable, user variable and password manage variable. So I have to create 3 label and entry fields for all the 3. So I do that. Using these lines of code. So one is for the user name, service, and then for the password. So once this is done, next we create a button to save the password. So this is the button, and the text I want to give here is save password and command self dot save password, and I pack them in. So here I have a so the width of the password here, I think I have missed a closing braces. So the warning is gone now. Okay. So now once I created the button, now let's create the tree view widget to display and display saved passwords with their corresponding service names. So I create a tree view for that using these. So first I have a tree view which has 3 columns, 2 columns by the way, service and username. So I get in the service and username from the text box that they have entered and saved it into this tree view. Now we have to create a only when we double click the password tree we have to display the password. So we have this self dot password dot tree bind. Here by double clicking on the tree item will trigger a method to show our saved password. And next we are going to create the method for generating a password based on user preference. So that method is done using generate underscore password self. So this method is basically to generate a password based on the preference. So length integer self dot length where kept characters so we retrieve the desired length of the password and initialize an empty string for the characters. Now we want to build the character pool based on the selected options. So for that we use the if loop, if self dot upper case underscore where dot get characters plus equal to string dot, you want to get it using ASCII uppercase. Next similarly we do it for the lowercase numbers and symbols. Let me save this. So next, if no character types are selected, a warning message has to be displayed. So let's do that. So if they don't enter any character, then you say send a warning message, say please select at least one character type, and then we just, if there is a password entered, then use join and create a use random method to randomize the password creation and display it. Next we have a method to copy our password. So to do that we use copy to clipboard pass in self. Under here we once the clipboard is cleared and with the new password is copied. So to do that we have self dot master dot clipboard underscore clear method self dot master clipboard append self dot password dot get self dot master dot update and these are the methods. So first I want to this first method I want to create here is find save password method. So in here we pass in self. So this method basically saves the entered password, username and service name to a JSON file. So that's done using this method. Inside here we give service equal to self dot service underscore var dot get, username equal to self dot username underscore var dot get, and we get the password self dot password underscore var dot get. So here we retrieve the username, service and password entered by the user, and then if all the fields are filled, a password is encrypted and saved. So we have the tree view. The tree view is updated and the user is notified with a save status. So how we do it is, if service and username and password is entered, then enter the loop. We have encrypted password equal to self.encrypt method, pass in the password, then we have self.passwords service equal to username so dictionary I'm using to store encrypted password, save it, then we have self dot save passwords, self dot update password tree, message box dot show info, show success, password save successfully, self dot service self dot username dot set self dot password pair dot set else message box show an error, say error, all fields are required. So if all the fields are filled in, then the password is encrypted and saved. So the tree view is updated and the password, the user is notified on the success of saving the password. Else it just prints out the message saying error, all fields are required to fill in. Next method is to load the password from the JSON file. So this is done using load passwords self method. So this method loads the saved passwords. So we have in here we try to open the JSON file with open passwords.json in read as if self passwords to json.load f, and then we have an except block and give a file not found error self.passwords self.update password tree method. So if the file exists, password are loaded into the application. If not, an empty dictionary is initialized. So the next method that we want to create is this is to update the tree view with the latest saved password. If update password, whenever the user updates a new password, we want to save it to the tree. So for item in self.password tree.getChildren self.password tree delete item. Next we have service comma data in self.passwords.items self.password tree.insert service data first the tree view is cleared and then the passwords are entered, and finally we have a method that displays the saved password when the tree item is double clicked. So that is done using this method self comma event. Next, so after entering this method, the selected services details are retrieved, then decrypted and shown to the user in the message box whenever they double click the service. Self.password underscore tree dot selection service to self.password tree dot item so 0 index, then user name equal to self.password service, then we pass the username encrypted password equal to self.passwords service password equal to self.decrypt the encrypted password, then message show info password service new line username password. So the selected service detail are retrieved from this method, and we display the password to the user. Next, we have method to encrypt the password using the base 64 encoding. So encrypt method self password return base 64 dot p64 decode encrypted password dot encode dot decode. And finally, so this is the password to encrypt it, and then we also have to create it for the decrypt in the same way. Decrypt. Here I have to just give password dot encode encrypted password. Decode, and this will be B64 encode. So this method is for encoding and this method is for decoding. So dot encode dot decode password. Next, finally, the final application is started by creating the main window if underscore name equal to main tk app equal to password manager as in the root, and then let's run the main loop. There's a warning here that says no encrypted password, so I think I have to pass in the encrypted password in here. So now let's run the program. Here I have my, so this is the password generator that we have created. So we can specify any length, so it can be uppercase or just the numbers, or symbol and numbers, or lowercase, uppercase. So then we can copy our password. And also let's go to the tab manager where I can specify what service I have, mail Salo Studios, and copy the password. So here I have a error saying that I don't have this save passwords. Okay, so the first thing I have load password, update password, double click. So I think I missed the save password method to add it to it. So let me add the save password method. Define save passwords self. So I want to save it to the JSON file. Passwords JSON comma W, write it as f JSON dot dump self dot passwords f. Save it. You retry the new terminal. So create the password, copy it, go to manager, Gmail, mail, Salo Studios, copy the password, save. So it says password saved successfully. Click OK. So you can see that we have this Gmail, and it only shows us the service and the username. So when we double click on it, so there's an issue here in on tree, double click. So it's dot item. Let me rerun the program again. So here we have the, so we generate the password, copy to clipboard, go to manager, Gmail, Salo Studios, copy it, save password. So password is saved successfully. Now we click on this and we can see our username, service and the password. So yeah, we have successfully created this password generated app. So now if you have any questions, comment below. We'll link the source code to this program in the description box below. Please do subscribe and like our channel. See you in the next video.